Radford, and a good day for us to get together and have some good discussion. We have a lot of things to talk about tonight, but before we begin, and we're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance, before we do that, I do have a couple of amendments to our agenda this evening. We've been working for quite some time to surplus some vehicles. We had an additional surplus that needs to be added to the list from the Sheriff's Office. So that would go under new business item 3 for camper surplus, and we'll mention more of that. We also need to add an item to our closed session where discussion or consideration of the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved, where if made public initially, the financial interest of the governmental unit would be adversely affected, specifically to consider procuring an agreement for consulting services, Virginia Code 2.2-3711A6. I'd like to make a motion that we amend our agenda with those two items. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, and with that, we'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you all will please join us in a moment of silence, which you can use for silent prayer, to reflect on the meeting, or for however you would like to prepare. Thank you all very much. Council, we have minutes from several meetings because we've had so many special sessions during budget season. I do have two amendments on April 13th and April 21st to citizen names that I've given to Melissa. They're just small amendments clarifying who the citizens were that spoke during those meetings. Are there any other amendments to the minutes, or do we have a motion to approve as already amended?
Approve as amended.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time, we're going to invite folks down to the podium. Any citizens who have comments for the public, please come down to the podium. Use the microphone. Be sure to adjust it so that we can hear you. State your name for the record, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. We are working, give us just a second, we're working to get our clock on the wall on a 3-minute countdown to help you to be able to see that. We will be using the little small timer that I have here, so please come on down and we will do our best with that. Seeing no mad dash for the podium, we will close the citizen comments portion of the meeting and move forward. There are a lot of great things for us to talk about. And I did have someone ask, why do we have so many proclamations at our meetings? I think it's important to highlight specific things in our community. Tonight we'll be talking about our Police Week, Emergency Medical Services Week, Public Works Week, Mental Health Month, Pride Month, Military Appreciation Month. We try to help show support for our citizens, for our team members, and for those who do so much to make our community better. So with that, we will move forward with our Police Week proclamation. The week of May 10th through the 16th has been nationally designated as Police Week to honor the men and women who've made the ultimate sacrifice and to those who put their lives in danger each day, protecting and serving our communities. So with this proclamation, National Police Week 2026, whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Radford City Police Department, and whereas the safety and well-being of the citizens of Radford are of the utmost importance to the Radford City Police Department, and whereas individuals have committed their lives to protecting and serving Radford's families, businesses, neighborhoods, schools, and community, and whereas the men and women of RCPD risk their lives in the line of duty to maintain the safety of our community while striving to uphold the rule of law, And whereas all citizens of Radford value the courage, commitment, and leadership demonstrated by our state and local law enforcement officers who work diligently to ensure our safety. And whereas we pay tribute to the officers who have fallen in the line of duty and recognize the sacrifices made by the families of those officers, as well as the families of those who continue to protect and serve our communities. And whereas it is critical that we understand the roles and responsibilities of law enforcement officers within our communities and commemorate and pay tribute to the dedicated service of officers past and present. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim May 10th through the 16th, 2026 as National Police Week in the City of Radford, and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. Council, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this resolution. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Congratulations. We have members of the Radford City Police here. Please come down front, and we can give you a round of applause in this proclamation. Thank you all so much. Let's give them a little round. The week of May 17th through the 23rd has been nationally designated as Emergency Medical Services Week to honor the men and women who serve in the field of emergency medical services, as well as recognize the importance of out-of-hospital care, life-saving skills, training, and education. We have a proclamation for that as well. Seth?
City of Radford Proclamation, Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas the City of Radford is committed to ensuring the health and safety of all those living in and visiting Radford, and whereas emergency medical services are a vital public service, and whereas the members of Radford's Emergency Medical Services team are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas emergency medical services have grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the members of Radford's Emergency Medical Services team, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through the 23rd, 2026 as Emergency Medical Services Week. With the theme EMS Week, we care for everyone and encourages the Radford community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Mayor and Council, I'd like to make a motion to accept this proclamation.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Let's get all of our EMS and fire department up here. Give them a round of applause. a little bit there, I'm gonna scooch in right here. How's that? I will say we are so fortunate to have some of the very best first responders right here in this community. Fire, EMS, police, and we are so appreciative of their efforts. The week of May 17th through the 23rd is also nationally designated as Public Works Week to honor the men and women who serve in the public works sector as engineers, directors, supervisors, and employees. The theme for 2026 is People, Purpose, and Presence. The week highlights the public works services and preparedness related to day-to-day operational duties and all the needs associated with repairing and improving transportation facilities, solid waste collection, maintaining public buildings, infrastructure oversight, treating and supplying water and wastewater services, as well as maintaining public places, structures, and facilities essential to our citizens for public health, quality of life, and overall well-being. We do have a proclamation. Kelly, if you could share that with us.
National Public Works Week, rooted in service, powered by community. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, emergency management, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Radford, Virginia. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals and the engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civil leaders, and children in Radford to gain knowledge and maintain ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works employees and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Radford City Council of the City of Radford, that the week of May 17th through the 23rd, 2026, be known as National Public Works Week, and all the citizens are encouraged to celebrate in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions that they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. I would like to make a motion to accept this proclamation.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Congratulations to all our public works folks. Can we give them a big round of applause? I don't think anybody's here representing them today, but I know Todd will get them the proclamation and celebrate them during a department meeting and help them know how much we appreciate them. Goodness, I'll tell you, when it doesn't work right, you notice it, and when it does, it just feels real smooth as silk. So we're so thankful for all they do. May is also Mental Health Month. This month focuses on the overall wellness and ways each of us can mitigate the impact of mental health challenges that we may face in life by focusing on the components of wellness that are most important to each of us. The theme for 2026 is More Good Days Together, and we have a proclamation. Guy?
A proclamation, Mental Health Month, whereas National Mental Health Awareness Month is observed every May in the United States to fight stigma, provide support, educate the public, and advocate for policies that prioritize mental health. And whereas the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby recognize the month of May as Mental Health Month, and whereas New River Valley Community Services is the area's leading public provider of behavioral health services to residents of the New River Valley, including those who live with mental health disorders, and whereas New River Valley Community Services provided services to more than 12,000 residents across the New River Valley during the fiscal year 2025. And whereas the New River Valley Community Services has been promoting a wellness campaign to the general public using inspiring messages of hope that encourage community members to prioritize 8 different components of well-being, including fun and recreation, family, physical health, career, friends, spiritual, personal development, and finance. And whereas each of us can mitigate the impact of mental health challenges we may face in our lives by focusing on the components of wellness that are most important to us, and whereas recovery from mental health disorders is possible and individuals living with mental health disorders can enjoy healthy and productive lives with proper treatment and support, now therefore be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Radford that the month of May 2026 be recognized as Mental Health Month in Radford. Mayor, I would offer this proclamation to be adopted.
We have a proclamation, a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. All right, then. The month of June, we're a little bit ahead because we won't be meeting again in the month of May, but the month of June is nationally recognized as Pride Month. This proclamation recognizes the 1969 Stonewall Uprising in New York, advancing the LGBTQ movement and self-affirmation. Jesse, I think you have a proclamation for us.
Whereas lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer Pride Month is celebrated each year in the month of June to commemorate the 1969 Stonewall Uprising in Manhattan, New York, which sparked the movement for LGBTQ equality, and whereas Pride celebrations have evolved to highlight the modern LGBTQ rights movement, and whereas the purpose of this commemorative month is to recognize the hardships faced by the LGBTQ community, as well as the impact that LGBTQ individuals have had on history locally, nationally, and internationally. And whereas Pride is a celebration of all LGBTQ community members who are an important part of the diverse tapestry of individuals and families that make up the City of Radford. And whereas the City of Radford recognizes that the struggle for equality and acceptance for LGBTQ people is advanced by the dedication of advocates and allies who promote tolerance and inclusion. And whereas the City of Radford continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity, are respected and recognized for their contributions and potential. And whereas Pride Month encourages self-acceptance, tolerance, and open-mindedness. Now, therefore, the City of Radford does hereby recognize the month of June 2026 as Pride Month in the City of Radford and encourages Radford residents of all sexual orientations and gender identities to celebrate and reflect on the vital role Pride plays in building a community that is stronger, more diverse, and welcoming to all. Council, I would make a recommendation that we accept this proclamation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, congratulations. Pride Month is the month of June, and to all celebrating, we wish you a good month. We also have a proclamation for Military Appreciation Month. May is National Military Appreciation Month, encouraging all citizens to honor current and former members of the U.S. Armed Forces and their families, including those who made the ultimate sacrifice. This proclamation encourages citizens to express our gratitude and commitment to Radford service members, veterans, and their families who've dedicated their lives in defense of our freedoms. Jesse?
Whereas for generations, the freedom and security enjoyed by the citizens of the United States are direct results of the continued vigilance and service of the United States Armed Forces over the history of our great nation. And whereas the sacrifices of those who served, those currently serving, and the family members that support them have preserved the liberties that have enriched our great Commonwealth of Virginia and this nation, making it unique in the world community. And whereas Virginia's military presence is significant and has a total economic impact of over $100 billion annually on our state. And whereas Virginia is home to over 720,000 veterans and over 155,000 total active duty service members, National Guardsmen, and reservists. And whereas in 2004, the United States Congress passed a resolution proclaiming May as National Military Appreciation Month, encouraging all citizens to honor current and former members of the U.S. Armed Forces and their families, including those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And whereas the month of May was selected for this display of patriotism because during this month we celebrate Victory in Europe, VE Day, Military Spouse Day, Loyalty Day, Armed Forces Day, National Day of Prayer, and Memorial Day. And whereas on this month and throughout the year, citizens of the Commonwealth express our gratitude and commitment to Virginia service members, veterans, and their families who have dedicated their lives in defense of our freedoms. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim May 2026 as Military Appreciation Month. I would make a proclamation that we support this.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, congratulations. Now, I do encourage you all to participate actively in this month. There's so much going on. We do have our Memorial Day program on May the 25th that our veterans will be putting on in Bissett Park at the gazebo. So please put that on your calendar for that morning. So we're so appreciative of all that work, and we'll have more to say later in the meeting. Under new business, we do need to take a look at our Community Development Block Grant Action Plan. Every 5 years, the city's required to submit a consolidated plan to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is designed to serve as the framework for identifying housing and community development priorities aligned with the CDBG program. Each year, the consolidated plan is carried out through the annual action plan, which provides a concise summary of actions, activities, and the specific federal resources that will be used each year to address the priority needs and the specific goals that were identified in the consolidated plan. The plan year 2026 projects are based off of the $168,922 that was allocated for 2026, with an estimated additional $25,250 to be rolled over from prior year funding. Proposed projects support emergency home repairs, a water extension on Rock Road, will replace a fence in the parking area on East Main Street, general administration of the program, as well as agency support for the Women's Resource Center, New River Community Action, August Kids, and the Bobcat Backpacks program. Melissa, this is your baby. What else can you tell us about it?
The public comment period, we're required to have a 30-day public comment period prior to submittal to HUD, and that began on April 13th, 2026, and it ends tomorrow at 5, so there's still time to provide any comments you may have towards the program. This is our we started in 2004, so count those years.
22?
Yes, we've had a lot of investment in our community through the community development block grant. So hopefully council will see its benefit and continue to let us do so.
Thank you. And we've had multiple meetings. There were input sessions on March 17th and March 18th. We've also had 10 citizens who provided several suggestions. Most agreed to continue supporting emergency home repair and weatherization. Now, the tricky part about this is the person who's requesting the funds has to own the home, so it doesn't really help us in rental situations. So that's always the trick.
And they also have to meet the guidelines that HUD puts out for income, for the income
So this
limits.
is very, very worthy, and especially for the folks that are looking at energy bills that are unsustainable. If you think you might qualify, please check with this program to see. Again, you have to be a homeowner, you have to qualify under the program, and we move forward from there.
And if I can just do a little plug.
Please do.
You spoke about the 5-year consolidated plan. We are actually in our 5th year, going into the program year 2026 is the 5th year. So starting in the fall, we need to work on our next 5-year consolidated plan. So we'll have more community involvement to develop that 5-year plan.
And let's start on that like in September if we can, because I want to give people plenty of time to have input, to participate in meetings and everything. This is an important piece, and literally millions of dollars over the 22 years has been used for the good of the citizens of Radford. It's a wonderful program. This is federal money that comes to the city that we would not have otherwise, and how we spend it and how we invest is incredibly important. So thank you all very much. Council, do we have a motion to approve the 2026 action plan?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
No discussion, but I did want to take a second to thank Melissa. You wear many hats and you wear them all well. This was, I thought I would have questions, but after reading through this, everything was laid out. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. And Melissa, I'll echo that. Nobody realizes how much work it is not only to put together the plan, but then to implement it over the course of a year. And there's so many different elements. I can't imagine what some of our groups would do without the money that's provided, but also for some of the infrastructure elements that we've been able to take care of in the city with this money. That simply wouldn't be funded in other ways if we didn't have this available. So thank you for all that hard work. Okay, moving on to our second piece of new business. GAD Management, Gary Duncan, has requested a vacation of a right-of-way at the corner of West Main and Rock Road. Per Virginia Code 15.2-2006, a public hearing is required to vacate public right-of-way. Todd or Melissa, do you all have anything you want to add about this before we schedule a hearing? Okay.
We'll make sure we have an overview of what's being proposed prior to the public hearing
Okay.
on June 8th.
And if you all have any questions, all this information will be made available to you prior to the hearing. It's a very small piece of the land that was most recently, before Mr. Duncan took it over, known as the Moog Components Group here in Radford, that piece of property on Rock Road just off of West Main Street. So, Council, we can accommodate this hearing on June 8th, 2026, if so desired. Do we have a motion to do so? So moved. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will see you on June 8th for that meeting. As I said at the top of the meeting, we have been working to try to surplus vehicles. If there's anything that's not useful to us, if there's something that's outlived its service life for the city, if there's something by statute that we can't continue to use, we have worked to try to get that ready to be surplus. Now, having said that, that's not always as easy as it sounds. While a lot of these things can be put on the gov deals and be put out there to be surplus, sometimes it doesn't go, and we end up keeping it. That's true of one of our properties from tonight, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we do have, from Radford Transit, 2 additional buses that have met their usage requirements for mileage, age, and condition as it pertains to the Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation. Radford PD has 3 surplus vehicles that have met their useful life. This camper that we added to the list from the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Armentrout brought this to our attention. It was jointly purchased by the Sheriff's Office, the Fire Department, and Police Department, and was used as a command center in Bissett Park during Independence Day celebrations. I believe it was also used for other major events in the city. This was up for surplus approximately 10 years ago. I don't think it went anywhere. The Sheriff's Office continued to use it for various purposes, most recently as a shelter at the firing range in Pulaski County. The trailer's been parked in a wooded area next to our shooting area for the past 5 years. During this time, it has sustained some significant damage, including tree fall damage to the awning and front door area, which has caused some leaking. Both slide outs have remained extended and exposed, and extensive water damage from that. The interior is now heavily moldy and in poor condition overall. The tires are unserviceable, not roadworthy. The slide-out motors are inoperable, preventing retraction of the slide-outs. Mice intrusion damage and include the byproducts of the mice. So due to its current condition, the trailer cannot be safely or legally towed on Virginia roadways. But Virginia Code Section 15.2-951 gives us broad authority to sell or otherwise dispose of this property. What has been recommended is releasing the title to the current property owner so the camper can be legally and properly disposed of. So having said that, Council, we need to consider all these properties, including the camper surplus. Do we want to go on and surplus this and have it disposed of appropriately, whether it is appropriate to sell it or to junk it or whatever that might end up looking like?
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
I so move.
We have a motion to surplus these vehicles as mentioned. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any
Mayor.
discussion? Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead,
If I
Todd.
may, as part of that motion, I would request that council also authorize me to sign any and all paperwork to transfer the title of the camper.
I'd like to amend the motion by saying that we would like to have Mr. Meredith sign any and all paperwork to deal with the title of the vehicle. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Just a comment. Todd, once that goes through, would you send us an update on what we collected, what insurance savings that we were able to produce from that? As you go through that, could you compile that for us?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, we have 3 appropriation ordinances. What I'd like to do is read all 3 of these, and then we can just approve them all at once, if that's okay with council. Appropriation Ordinance 1815.34 is the Best Friends Animal Society grant, and that's to Radford City's Animal Control with a $5,000 grant from Best Friends Animal Society. This funding will enhance the care provided to cats in our community and support our ongoing commitment to maintaining a save rate of 90%. Okay. That's okay. I got you. Support our ongoing commitment to maintaining a save rate of 90% or higher. A portion of the funding will provide for vaccinations, boosters, testing, dewormer, and antibiotics, and the remainder will provide funding for the help of sterilization of stray and feral cats. So that's Ordinance 1815.34 in the amount of $5,000. We have Appropriation Ordinance 1815.35, which is the Justice Assistance Grant, the Local Law Enforcement Block Grant, and that is a program that provides federal funds to support localities in their efforts to reduce crime and improve public safety. PD plans to purchase 3 Marlin bicycles with accessories needed to be added to the Radford City PD's bicycle team. Do we know the amount of that ordinance? Do we have that? I'm sorry, I thought that was listed on my list. Yep, how much is it? $33.40, $3,340. All right, thank you. And then finally, we have Appropriation Ordinance 1815.36 in the amount of $7,000. It is a juvenile community crime control program, and we receive funding for this. This money is used for community-based services that are alternatives to secure detention. Funding is for juveniles on home electronic monitoring facilitated by the NRV Juvenile Detention Home, Third Millennium Classrooms, and community service supervision. The VJCCCA coordinator received an additional $7,000 and plans to support the home electronic monitoring program and salary towards the community service program. Council, we have all 3 of these appropriation ordinances, 1815.34 in the amount of $5,000, 1815.35 in the amount of $3,140, and 1815.36 in the amount of $7,000. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Having heard 4 affirmative votes, we can dispense with a second reading if so desired. Is there a motion we do so? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Todd, what do you have for us this evening?
Just wanted to speak briefly about an article that was published on Saturday in the Roanoke Times. Excuse me, I'll start over. Just wanted to speak briefly about an article that was published in the Roanoke Times on Saturday. In that article, it stated that the Virginia Commission on Local Government had met Friday and had met to discuss Radford's fiscal distress status that had been approved by the Auditor of Public Accounts. In that article, they did talk about Radford, that we had already addressed some of the issues. We were working to go ahead and implement plans to improve the city's fiscal position. But I have sent an email to state officials to get more details. I don't have details from that meeting. Just want to let everyone know that we've sent an email to both them and DHCD requesting more information about that meeting. Moving on, staff will begin making repairs to the walking trail at Bissett Park and at Bissett Park near the bridge. We have an area that has significant erosion there. It's becoming a safety issue. Right now, we can make the repair without any purchase of materials. Our staff are ready to begin work, so Expect to see that starting in the coming days to weeks. Just wanted to remind everyone that the city offices will be closed Friday, May 22nd and Monday, May 25th in observance of Memorial Day. And also wanted to remind everyone that city council meetings have gone into summer session with one meeting per month. They're held on the second Monday of each month unless special meetings are required. Also, our Waterworks team has advised that the 1800 block of Grove Avenue will be closed in both directions on May 12th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. in preparation of the 12-inch water main replacement project. That's a CDBG project. And also, westbound will be closed at 9th Avenue, and eastbound will be closed at East Main Street to locate all utilities. On May 13th, eastbound uphill on Grove Avenue will be closed for the same hours and reasons. One last thing I wanted to let council know about: the Vector truck that's used by our water wastewater team. It's broke down right now. It's being repaired. We don't know how long we'll be without it, and we don't have a cost estimate for its repairs at this point, but we have had to rent a Vector truck to continue to provide services to clear sewer mains that get clogged. We have had to rent one while it's being repaired.
What's the cost on the rental, do you know?
The rental is running approximately $4,500 a month, or not, excuse me, a week to rent. So
wow.
it's not cheap.
No. Well, the Vector has been a lifesaver for us. I mean, certainly that has made a huge difference, and it's not only improved the life of a lot of our lines, it's kept things out of citizens' basements, yards, and homes. So that's crucial. Where are we getting the equipment worked on, the Vector that we own?
It's in Richmond, Richmond or Charlottesville. Trish, and I don't remember the name of the company. I think it's in Richmond, but I can get the name of the company.
It's posted. That's a crucial piece of equipment, and at $4,500 a week, that is not a cheap replacement. And just to look at whatever is available to us in case the other truck has serious issues beyond that. Can I also ask you, based on something you mentioned a minute ago with the article, where are we with the audit services, both our regular audit and the forensic audit that we've acquired?
Trish, correct me if I'm wrong, but everything has been turned over for the regular annual audit. So the auditing firm has everything from us. So they're working on creating our annual audit report. With the forensic audit, work has begun. I know that they have been working with our constitutional offices. They've already started pulling data there, and they've already started pulling data from our finance office and HR departments.
Okay.
So work has begun.
So I think the challenging part, and this is just something we'll have to deal with as we get information back, only having one June meeting, one July meeting, we may need to try to schedule something else depending on when that information comes back, because that will be couple of long evenings, I'm sure, to go through all of that. So just a heads up on that for everybody. It may not be till August. Do we have any idea on when we might get the annual audit back? Any clue? Okay. So that would probably be July before we get a report from them? Okay. I just want to get that on everybody's schedule because I know people are really busy in the summer and it's tough to get back together, but those will be long meetings where we have a lot of detail. But thank you very much. Yes, sir.
I can make one more point about the Vector truck rental.
Yeah.
We did go with the lowest quote. The other quote that we had was over $6,000 a week.
I mean, and it's terrible to have to rent it, but I cannot imagine us not having a Vector handy in the city because that has saved us on so many occasions. Thank you for working on that, but as soon as we can get the other one repaired, that's crucial.
I assume you have to rent it a week at a time? I mean, it's not, and I don't know where we get it from and how available it is, but it's not something you can wait till something happens and run and get one and bring it in.
No, he has to have it, and he has, there are sewer lines, our wastewater, when I say he, I'm talking about Don Green, but our water wastewater team, they have sewer lines that have to be on a regular maintenance schedule, which means they run the jetter through there weekly, daily,
Okay.
they have lines that they're
Okay.
tending to.
The only thing keeping some areas clear in the city. I know there for a long time, we had clogged up spaces where people would have backups anytime we'd have heavy rain, when there was a change in student population, anything along that line, and this has saved us significantly, so it is a crucial expense. Did you have something you wanted to add, Seth?
No, I think it was answered.
Okay.
But that is, it is, man, you've mentioned this once. Who thought we would get so excited about a Vector truck? But my goodness, what a difference it makes in this community, because we were having problem after problem after problem. I saw it firsthand. I attend Unity Christian Church, and we actually were having backups in the basement of the church all the time, and by taking the Vector out early, it prevents that. And that's really the only thing that's helping us with some of our older sewer systems. So it is an essential piece of equipment.
And a very exciting one. Every time I see it out, I'm the first to like post it and be like, whoa, they're out. People are really
But Don and
confused
his
with my
team have been
enthusiasm.
so wonderful. We've gotten on a regular schedule. I mean, I hate to even say too much about it, knock on wood, because it has been a lifesaver, because we were just having problem after problem with stuff, and that's made a difference. Just keep us updated on that, and let us know. I mean, this is unfortunately one of those expenses that's not a want to, it's a have to, but we go from there. All right, Council, Jesse, what do you have?
All right, well, mainly what I did the last couple of weeks since the last meeting was recover from budget season. I did attend a Rotary meeting and Department of Social Services meeting. Other than that, I just want to take this time to thank all of our first responders from the very bottom of my heart. I am always humbled and impressed by the work that you do out in our community, and I personally cannot thank you enough. Public Works, wow, you guys are out there when it matters the most as well, and never fail, I think, to really highlight the importance of having a strong public works. So thank you again. The mental health workers, as well as those who suffer from mental health issues and their families, and those who love and support them, our thoughts are with you, and thank you. The LGBT community members, thank you, as well as all of those that are affiliated with our honorable military. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Kelly, what do you have?
Echo everybody that does everything for the city, Public Works and first responders. You guys are amazing. You do continued work and always show up, so we really appreciate you guys. As I was interrupted by my computer, I was looking up to see how the Glenclo and the Rotary sign-up goes for the flags that they're putting out. And so if you wanted to sign for that, they have information on their website. I got an email because I'm on their email list, so please go do that. It's one of my favorite things to see in the community for several months over the summer. I didn't say this last time, but I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day. I hope you had a wonderful day there. It was beautiful weather. And I think that's all. I don't really have, Recover was the name of the game. I did not have a joint commission meeting this month, but I will have one next month to talk about. So I think that's all.
Thank you very much. Seth, what do you have?
I'll be brief. And actually, Charlie Goins is here as well. But reaching out to our business community, for the 4th of July celebration, we've came up with a T-shirt that's going to look really nice, and we're looking for 12 spots for sponsors to get on the shirt, so that hopefully we can be self-sustained. I think we have 6 secured so far. And at $500 gets you your logo on the shirt, also the digital marketing with the website. So if anyone's interested, reach out to us. We'll get you in touch. And the shirt looks good. Charlie sent us over a draft and looks nice. So I wanted to mention that and appreciate your work on that. We had talked about the Memorial Day event as well. I know that we had a citizen reach out a little while ago, Jack Ratliff, about adding the Spanish-American War veterans to that memorial piece. I know you have spoke with him. Can you update a little bit on that?
I can. We need to work with the VFW, so I need to have a meeting with, I believe, a Mr. Van Noy with the VFW and get with him to find out, first of all, where they ordered the other plaques from, so that it matches, and determine how we're going to fund it.
Awesome. Yeah, and I had spoken to Nathan as well, and I know they're all on board, and whatever the city needs to do, we certainly want to make sure that we get that added to it, and I just wanted to put that on the radar. And then the last thing I have, kind of speaking on the same vein, is since this is the 250th anniversary of the country, are we planning any type of I don't know, events or messaging throughout the community? I'd like, at the very least, make sure we have our flags up and going. I just know it's a big event, and we kind of want to celebrate, right? And that's not something, we have to decide tonight, but I do think that it's important that we recognize and honor 250 years of this country.
We'll ensure the flags are up, but we can come up with some ideas for, specifically the 250th anniversary. We don't have any right now.
Right.
But we can develop some.
Yeah.
If it's council's will.
So Glencoe's already been doing some, so I think it would be good to reach out to the Heritage Foundation and to Scott, and then for whatever else we want to add, maybe at our June meeting, Charlie, would you come back and give us a big update for our July 3rd and July 4th plans and do that? But I agree, we need to do that. We already did have the mobile museum that was at the high school, thanks to the school system, which was wonderful. But I agree, we've got the Mary Draper Ingalls Festival coming up this summer as well, and that is a perfect opportunity to talk about our history.
And, it doesn't cost a lot to deck out the city in flags and
Yep.
make it look pretty and celebrate it, because 250 years is quite an accomplishment. So I'd just like to be mindful of that. And that's all I got.
All right, Guy, what do you have?
Yeah, I want to thank Yvonne and Randy Wampler for the first responder appreciation event they had last Friday down at where the parking lot where Sal's and the Realty office is. That was a wonderful little thing that they did down there. They had 4 or 5 different types of foods and radio station, and I think he had somebody singing or something there at one point in time. So I was really appreciative of them doing that for our first responders, because as has been said here before many times, we are so proud of those guys here in our city. And in the line of 250th celebration, I wanted to mention that this Sunday, the 17th, in Washington, D.C., there'll be a 250th celebration all day long called Rededicate 250. Our nation was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, and the day is dedicated to prayer, praise, and thanksgiving for our country as one nation under God. God has blessed us as a nation in so many ways, but I feel that we are slipping away from those blessings and protections. As a nation, we are turning our back on God. I think this is illustrated best by the financial situation in our city that we find ourselves in. On July the 2nd of 2018, the City Council of this city, on a 4-to-1 vote, took prayer for the city and the council off the agenda, and I believe this has contributed to our blessings and protections being removed by God. I encourage all of our citizens to search their hearts and pray that God will restore his covering over our city. That's all I have.
I'd like to also add my thoughts regarding Mother's Day. It was a wonderful activity, filled day for so many people. It was wonderful to see so many families expressing their appreciation for the moms in their lives, and we're so appreciative of that. It has been a super busy time in the city. The last few weeks, there have been multiple activities that have gone on. It's just been an incredibly busy calendar that also included the graduation at Radford University. We are not far from our Radford High School graduation as well. And we are moving forward with so many wonderful activities in this community. I do want to encourage you, as Kelly mentioned, to participate in the Tribute to Heroes, which is at Glencoe Mansion and the Radford Heritage Foundation. I think that's a wonderful way to celebrate the people in our lives, whether they are folks we're honoring, memorializing, or just want to recognize for the wonderful commitment to community and to this planet. I think that's a beautiful thing. We will be dedicating that on Memorial Day as well. So after you head to Bissett Park for the Memorial Day celebration at 11 a.m., you can come up to Glencoe Mansion for the Memorial Day program to celebrate Tribute to Heroes. And that should be a wonderful event that day. I also want to say thank you so much to all the people who make great things happen throughout the city, all throughout the spring. We have so many events that are ongoing, and our public works folks, fire, EMS, police, all do a fantastic job helping to facilitate those and keep those going. I hadn't planned to talk about this tonight, but guys, since you brought it up, I think it's important too that, when we talk about personal faith, we keep that in mind, that faith is practiced in many ways. There's actually been a prayer asked every night of this city council. I have prayed every time that we have gotten together and asked for blessings for our community, so I have to disagree with you a little bit that God's blessings have been removed from our community. We certainly are always open to additional blessings, and hopefully things will continue to improve for the city, and that those of us who serve and practice our faith individually have that opportunity to do so and to respect those in all forms as we move forward. I think as we celebrate the 250th birthday of our nation, we remember one key word, and that's freedom. The freedom to live our lives, the freedom to function, the freedom to be able to associate and practice as we see fit. And that is one of the founding tenets of our country as we look at this 250 years that we've spent together in this little group of ragtag colonies that decided they wanted freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of thought, and freedom of activity. Independence Day is a wonderful celebration, and I am so looking forward to our celebration in Bissett Park. And it should be the biggest and best fireworks in the region. We're going to do it on Friday evening, July the 3rd, so it will be a great kickoff, and you can leave your milk and cookies out for Captain America after that as we go on. With that, we will go into a closed session to discuss a few things. So I'd like to make a motion to convene a closed meeting for discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, specifically to discuss the Armory building, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3. I'd also like us to go into closed session for discussion or consideration of the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved, where if made public initially, the financial interest of the governmental unit would be adversely affected, specifically to discuss the Ready Agreement, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A6. We're also going into closed session to discuss or consider the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved, where if made public initially, the financial interest of the governmental unit would be adversely affected, specifically to consider procuring an agreement for consulting services, Virginia Code 2.2-3711A6. And then finally, to go into closed session for consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members or consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation where such consultation or briefing in an open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the public body. For the purposes of this subdivision, probable litigation means litigation that has been specifically threatened or on which the public body or its legal counsel has a reasonable basis to believe will be commenced by or against a known party. Nothing in this subdivision shall be construed to permit the closure of a meeting merely because an attorney representing the public body is in attendance or is consulted on a matter specifically for briefing by staff regarding revenue sharing litigation. Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A7. And that's easy for me to say. I'd like to make a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
And aye. Any opposed? All right. We are in closed session. You all can join us back here after the meeting if you'd like. Thank you all very much.